All right, yeah, we'll give it a second for people to get in, but I'm gonna avoid the fucking elephant in the room. Oh shit. I'm gonna avoid the elephant in the room as long as possible. By the way, we'll let's see, just make sure this is going. Cool. All right.
All good.
Yep. Think we're good. Yep. All right. Well, welcome to Miami Primetime Live. Shay here with Jaden. And Jaden, how are you doing on this wonderful Monday?
I'm doing great, Shay. I can't lie to you. There, no reason at all. I'm feeling fair, having a great time right this week. How about yourself?
Yeah, it's life's lifing. Life is lifing. Right now.
Happy for our guy Elijah Arroyo to be a Super Bowl champion. I think that's what we're talking about exactly. Seattle Seahawks beating the New England Patriots. We'll not get to it right now. We'll get to it in a second. There's a couple things that happen in terms of Miami Hurricanes we can get into before we can delay it. Some coaching issues, coaching changes, I guess you could say. Matt Merritt, Miami's running back coach, leaving for the Arizona Cardinals. How do you feel about that, Shay?
I mean, did a really good job with this group last year. Just in terms of where, I mean, we know Lyle had his injury issues and never really got going, but just, Mark doing his thing for most of the year, but then also having both Marty and Gerard ready to play. One thing I particularly remember during the postseason run was after the Ohio State game. Shannon Dawson gave all the credit to Matt about being the one to push for Mario to get into the game late in that one. So it's going to be a void. You got to think about, just the way he was able to coach that group up, know who was the hot hand in terms of that secondary back to Fletch throughout the season, or throughout that playoff run, and just so it's gonna be a void. But I think it's gonna be a coveted group job, just because look what you got here currently, and look what could potentially be here long term. I mean, Marty's going into his third year, but in all likelihood would probably come back for another. Gerard Pringle had a really promising freshman year. We know the talent that Jordan Lyle is, and then obviously Mark Fletcher coming off the season that he currently is a beast that you would want to work with. So I think Miami should be able to get anybody they really want in terms of that position, really. Fill in that one, but you can't just say, oh, anybody can go and do that position, because Matt did a particularly really good job, especially last year.
Yeah, he was with us for 2 years, did a pretty good job both years. At least from looking at it, even the guys that he had, Fletcher for both years, probably very integral to the development of Fletcher. Jordan Lyle for both years, Marty Brown for this past year,
last year,
Martinez last year. So yeah, a lot of different guys that he had. He will be missed. I believe his presence will be missed, and Miami's going to have to go through, find another coach. Yeah, that was probably the one thing I do remember the most about Matt Merritt was Dawson giving him that credit. When Marty Brown came in, was that Fiesta Bowl, right?
Ohio State, yeah.
Ohio State, okay.
Yeah,
the Cotton Bowl. And then that, he joins Cody Woodiel, the tight ends coach, who did leave for Ole Miss. So that's 2 holes that Miami has to fill in terms of their coaching staff. But long off season, Miami will figure it out. It's not like the tight end group was necessarily Miami's strong play, so it's not like it's the biggest of concerns that I have.
Yeah, exactly. The Woodiel with leaving with the tight end group, that group needed improvement here. So whether that was a coaching thing or a talent thing, it's good to probably just get a fresh face in there to kind of rework that group going to next year, especially when you just think about the year prior, the level of production you had from Arroyo, that taking that big of a step down. It's that group kind of needs to get another look going into next year.
Yeah, and you definitely could have used Elijah Arroyo this year. I'll tell you that. When looking at that offense, if you had Elijah Arroyo on this year's team, I mean, he would have added another layer of offense that was
Mhm.
already like a pretty solid team. That offense was already really good. Bringing in having Elijah Arroyo, if he did another year, would have been incredible. But he's on to bigger and better things. Has a ring in his hand. Shea does not, and that is I mean, unless there's any other Miami Hurricanes news, because I haven't seen, honestly, I have not seen much, if anything, as of late. Obviously, as we are in the beginning of the offseason, obviously recruiting stuff, 4-star linebacker Jathan Mayfield, and then I think Tank Joe. Like
I mean, they talk about in terms of not next year's class. Mark Matthews is the big name going on right now.
course.
I think he's down to his final five or whatever it was, and then Miami being on that list is roughly there. But it'd be sick if Miami got the number one offensive lineman in back-to-back classes.
Yeah,
Landing something like that would be insane. But yeah, like you said, we are in that dead spot of the offseason where it is not much is going on.
yeah.
Not much is.
Amari Stevens, 4-star receiver, Miami commit as well. Is the other big name waiting for him to, I guess, officially announce his commitment because he's committed to Miami, but he has a top 5 school, which is, the kind of current state of football. Actually, no, I don't think he's committed to. No, he committed to Miami, but he was seriously decommitting the team from Chaminade. I think he was also teammates. I don't know if he was ever teammates with JJ, but he went to the same school, obviously. So just another guy. Whatever. It's early, it's too early to tell. We're not near recruiting season at all. At least like for us, like to announce any commitments or what this can mean to anything. We're very, very, very early in it all. So it's hard to really describe anything going on.
Yeah, exactly. And so that's why today we are here bringing you our top moments from this season. A little bit of a draft. That way we're not like just picking back and forth. Jaden, do you want to get us started or should I get us started?
Considering what happened yesterday, I'll give you the 1-1 pick. So, all right, here we're gonna do our top 5 moments from this season. So, just moments specifically, not necessarily wins, but like you're like specific plays, right?
Yeah. That's
All right.
I would get moments like specific flash points
Yeah.
or like plays.
Okay. And I would say snake draft, 5 picks each, and then we'll do honorable mentions as well. We can
Yeah,
discuss this
yeah,
stuff. All
cool.
right, Jay, you got the 1-1.
Yep, I'm gonna
Sweet.
go my 1-1. Actually, wait, give me 1 second because
I'm gonna keep.
I'm not gonna pull up the sound, but like which one is this? Oh yeah, this is the one I wanted to pull up. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this one just because I was literally 2 feet away from this. Is the Malachi Tony running in this touchdown at the end of the A&M game? This is like, I mean, this is just personally because I was 2 feet away from him doing this, so that's going to be my 1-1. And then you also consider the magnitude of it, what Tony's done this year. That's going to be my first pick, at least this year. I know it wasn't specifically the biggest play necessarily, just because you think that game's wrapped up if Tony just takes the first down. But regardless, that play from such a big player in that spot was electric to be, and just once that happened, you're like, okay, I mean, I was there on the other side when the Bryce Fitzgerald interception happened, so that might be up there too. But I would say that touchdown being right there with this key staple of what this Miami team has been was so sick, and that's going to be my first pick.
I had that on the board. Definitely a very, very, very strong pick. I thought about that one heavy. I'm going to go for my number 1 pick. I mean, I think I have to go this one just because Keontae Scott's pick 6 against Ohio State, to me, is my favorite memory from this entire season. I was in the press box in Jerry World. You can kind of, it was me and 2 of my coworkers, Sebastian Font and Luca Mucciardi, both watching it. You can see all of our eyes kind of like shifting to seeing Keontae Scott kind of reading that play. Sebastian looks at, he says, "Oh," as Keontae Scott's reading that play, and he gets the pick, and the press box, probably the loudest I've ever heard a press box that wasn't cheering, just in complete shock and awe. It was incredible. It flipped the game entirely. It changed my entire belief on that game from, Miami obviously can win this in a very close, very tough fashion to Miami's got a 2-score lead, have all the moments in the world. This is legit. Like they have a legitimate chance to not only win this game, but to make it look like a they belong in that spot and be that better team. I look at that play, I'm like, that's one of the best plays I've ever watched live in person. It's incredible when watching that play. And then I think you have to have this one for the next pick. Carson Beck, just the touchdown run against Ole Miss.
Fair.
I think you have to go that one. I mean, the play that it was the drive and the play that sent you to the national championship game. That play, that play doesn't happen. That drive doesn't happen. Who knows? Ole Miss gets that touchdown. The offense is rolling, but the defense is struggling. But you see, Carson Beck, you're like, can he lead one more drive down the field? You get the Tony touchdown, but then you have that. He was so good in that drive. He was so smart, made all the right moves. And to cap it all off, when he looking around, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Looks to his left, goes into the end zone. Highlight moment. Watch that on the sideline. Very few plays like that where you can look at and say, like, and just be in pure disbelief from that game. So I got to go that one as my second pick. You got two up next, Shay.
Oh, I got okay. See, this next one isn't a play that I'm going with.
Okay.
I'm just going with Selection Sunday. I'm going with between Selection Sunday and Cristobal's speech at the end of the Pitt game, just kind of wrapped into one, where it was like we were all sitting there watching that countdown happen. You go through all the teams, you go through all the picks, and we're like, well, we finally hit that point. We don't see Notre Dame. We don't see Miami. They're like, it's going to be one of these two teams. And then for it to finally come to fruition, where it's like, finally, we're taking into what's supposed to have mattered this entire season, and we're making it matter right now with that pick. And then you see all the reactions online from the Miami fans. It was just an electric moment, and I think it was partially sparked by that Cristobal speech that was electric at the end of that Pitt game. So I think overall, that would be. I was surprised you didn't end up taking that because we don't get anything else.
That's a really good
committee. If the committee doesn't decide, hey, this team belongs to be in here. And if I had on disposal right now, I would pull up the Notre Dame reaction that went viral. But yes, that is my pick for number
That's a
two.
good. I remember it now. I spent that entire day just either one booking trips and then the other part of it just nonstop watching different videos of Miami fans celebrating, Notre Dame fans getting upset, and like just the pure elation from that day. I don't think I could top how fun that day was, knowing that we got in like that breath of fresh air, that relief after everything that we went through over the last couple of weeks. That one felt really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. And then with my back-to-back pick, let me take a look at. See, I'm gonna go a little bit earlier in the season where I'm picking the Bryce interception to Malachi Tony touchdown, that sequence right there against FSU, where it was like literally the exact play after. Was it the flea flicker?
Yes, I believe so.
I think it was the flea flicker to Malley right after Bryce has that interception, and you're just like FSU crowd silenced. Miami is here. They're playing. This is not a team that was going to fold early on in the season against a rival, and it was just an electric moment just because you have two true freshmen so young making that big of a play just back to back. I think it was what made it so electric to see in that type of environment and moment where I was also there at that game. Just those two plays being back to back live at Doak Campbell was insane.
That's a good pick. I'm gonna go, and you had mentioned this one. I'm gonna go the Bryce Fitzgerald interception against A&M. I think just from because I was on the sideline as well for the last couple of minutes of that game. Obviously, the Tony touchdown was incredible. Hearing, I guess, before the play, how loud those A&M fans were, that entire drive, what led up to that drive. And then when Bryce got that pick, hearing the air get sucked out of an entire stadium and only hearing a select couple thousand in one specific section celebrate in that kind of fashion was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. I want to say just that moment in itself is one of the most legendary moments ever for me, at least looking at it. I think that one for sure. And then my second pick, this one's kind of tough. This one's a little odd. Maybe not. Week 1, the CJ Daniels one-handed grab.
Oh, no, that was on my list. That was on my list.
That play was sick. The
Mhm.
one-handed grab, that was a no yes play and everything. You're like, is Notre Dame's going to pick that? We're going to be at halftime in a game we should be dominating, and we're only up by 1 score. You get that touchdown, you're like, that's what we do. We're up 2 scores. Hell yeah! Like, what an incredible grab from a guy that we just brought over. What a play! I love everything. The vibes are really, really high from that week 1 game. The Daniels catch kind of flipped everything from that game to make sure Miami would hold on. I think everything from that game, to me, I'll go that for sure. My
No,
pick.
that is a really good pick. Like I said, that in terms of I forgot about it for a second. So I think I had that higher in terms of like where I had like rankings, and then it slipped my mind just because the sequence between that. But yeah, that Notre Dame one was insane because it's like, well, Miami is here for real. This is a real team, like, and they're gonna go head to head with this Notre Dame team that was, so hyped or going into the season, that the defending runner, well, not the defending champions, but the runner up of the last national champion.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that was like a staple moment. That's just gonna, it's gonna be a key moment just for people's minds. After that, let me take a look. I'm gonna go the Pat McAfee dive at game day.
Oh, I wanted that one. That's a good one.
Yeah, like that entire sequence where Pat is on like the actual desk itself, runs all the way around, goes up and says, "The U is back, baby," and dives in to the pool. It was quite electric. Yeah, and like, so seeing that all, because I was being a runner for ESPN during that, so like seeing that behind the scenes kind of come together in little bits and pieces was also just like really cool, because I heard they were like ordering a speedo. I'm like, why are they ordering a speedo? And then turns out, look who it was for. And then also just afterward, just seeing Pat like afterwards be like, that was cool, man. And he was like, yep, appreciate it. So yeah, like that whole, like, I mean, game day itself was just surreal to be at.
I'll give you game day as an entirety. I wanted that. I mean, that one's elite moment.
But like that moment where Pat's like, the U is back, and just jumps in. He does the whole, like, he does the chant too. So like that like sequence right there was just a core memory in my mind of what this season is. So definitely that.
Okay. All right, you got one more pick.
Oh, I got one more.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the list here.
There's a couple that I got in mind, but
I will say I'm gonna say this one, and it's not in the best circumstances, but that Fletcher first touchdown against Indiana,
I had that.
I was like, it was like I was so close to being like, this game's just over and done. And then Fletch just comes out around the corner, runs all the way down the field, and you're just like, holy, okay, we're alive. We're gonna be in this game. Indiana's not dominating us, and like just given who it was from, just Fletcher, him being the guy for Miami this postseason, and then making that big play when Miami just needed any type of spark right there, I think just was a moment that if it weren't a win, like, you could debate that being like one potentially, like, that's how like awesome that was to see in that moment.
I remember thinking about it because we were watching. I was like, it was the most. It's so over. We're back, kind of thinking in my mind, because we're down at that point. They get the ball back at half. And you're like, this game is over. Why we're here for all this run for nothing. They get the ball back after a punt, and Fletcher scores in, like, I think the second play of that drive, and it was just electric stuff. From that point, I was like, yeah, maybe we're back, essentially. One of those, we're obviously not back, but it was one of those where I felt that way. My last pick, I'm still kind of debating, because you did take that pick that I had. I think this one is probably going to waste. This one's so bad. It's not even good. I guess I'll go with it. The Jacoby Thomas pick 6 against NC State.
Okay.
I'll go with that one because I want to say, I mean, I was a little nervous entering that game. I was like, NC State's a very solid team. They got really good guys. I was a big fan of Justin Jolie and Daniels, CJ Bailey, and everyone that out they had on that team. I was like, I think they're going to be a very good team. I think they're Miami's toughest opponent they have for the rest of the year. And the game essentially beginning with that pick six, changed every thought I had in my mind. This game's gonna be a blowout. This team is who they say they are. They want to be this team that's gonna run, finish the last 4 weeks super strong and play their heart out and play their best brand of football on senior night and doing that in that moment. I gotta say, I would say that there's also the Keontae Scott pick six against Syracuse. The moment of that means nothing, means absolutely nothing. But in the press box, I told this to Sebastian and some of the other coworkers, Cam Underwood and some of the other people in the box. I uttered the words, Miami has not gotten a pick six all year long, or I'm not defense touchdown all year long. The very next, 3 seconds later, Keontae Scott gets that pick six. So that one was pretty awesome too. But the Jacoby Thomas one, I think, was better. I thought it was a really fun play overall.
Yeah, it's also like Jacoby Thomas doing like the come
yes,
get over here.
Get over here. I mean, there's so many moments you could see. This season was so much fun. I mean, we can go into the honorable mentions. I thought
honorable mentions. You want to talk about if it's so over and we're back moments. I forgot who forced. Oh, I think it was Keontae. Yeah, the Keontae Scott forced fumble against Louisville.
Oh,
right after the interception, where 2 seconds later, it's like, oh, we're back. We're alive in this game. So like that, like I don't. It's in a loss. So like, yeah, but also just given who it was from, Keontae Scott being this monster this season, and it being like the Canes being like, we're not letting this one go that easily, was just so cool to see.
Yeah.
So that's I just got to mention it. It wasn't too big. I will say in terms of big plays and wins, the Keelan end of half bomb was also like so sick.
I was gonna say that one. That was the one I was thinking of because it was from looking at it from my vantage point. I thought it was gonna be either a bad play, something was broken. I was like, Carson's got someone here, and instead I see him go deep for Marion, gets the touchdown. I was like, I shut up everything I was trying to say. I was very nervous about Beck for the entire game. He throws the touchdown. I'm like, all right, we're good. No, I got no worries right now. That was a hell of a play, hell of a throw. Like that one was great. And then I guess I could group all of this one together. But the Malachi Tony screen open plays, like including so like one of them was the FSU game where he had like that 30-yard where I think that one didn't even count. The one that got
the one that he it was because it was like an offside. It was like offsides on the offense or illegal formation, something like that.
Formation,
and then he dumped it off to Tony, and he breaks like 18 tackles against FSU and scores. But he comes back.
One, he had one against Indiana, and then he had one against Ole Miss. Between those 3 plays, those plays define that season of just Malachi Tony in open space. He is going to just bob and weave through traffic, break tackles, and get through and get into the end zone. That was elite play. The CC Maui Noah touchdown against Syracuse.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Elite play. Love that play very, very much. You got CC saying, I wanted the ball. I wanted to run someone over. And he's like, he was upset that he couldn't run anyone over. I like, was this Ole Miss? I think it was either Ole Miss or Ohio State. The first touchdown, Carson Beck kind of put his head down. Yeah. He pitches it to Fletcher, and Fletcher runs it in easily. The whole play design was incredible on that play, and I think I loved everything from that play and how it was all kind of how it was. I think that was just a really good play that capitalized off a great drive, and I think maybe just me, I find the Cotton Bowl to be more of a better win for me than the Fiesta Bowl. That's just the way that I think of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll give you that because I was not at home, but I was at Monty's for the Fiesta Bowl. So to completely agree, just because like there's just a different environment when like you're there on the side and you're just like, oh my god, watching all this happen. But yeah. So I'll definitely give you that. Another one I was gonna pick up here, just point out, that last drive against UF where Miami just bullied them down the field. But it was like Mark for a couple plays, Marty for a couple plays, Mark, like just alternating between them, just like rolling over UF, just in that rivalry game, just to put a stamp on this game. You can also pulling out the Jacoby Thomas like sack where then he does like the Ray Lewis celebration, that too. But like overall, that last drive where like Miami was just like, yeah, we're just gonna run over you, and you guys can't do anything to stop it was so cool. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I have one. Oh, I think I just lost it. It was this one's so dumb. The JoJo Trader touchdown against SMU. I had belief from that game. I said JoJo's the guy. Let JoJo cook. This is the new era of JoJo Trader. We're back. From that touchdown, from that game, I was like, we got a guy again. And then obviously it didn't. But that touchdown, I was like, hell yeah, JoJo. You know, we're gonna keep this moving. And then he dropped like 2 passes in that game, and also was like, you know, they lost as well. But it was fun for the time being. The Josh Moore game against USF.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
40-yard touchdown, and then I believe they had a one-on-one touchdown. That was a fun game.
Yeah, because that was the USF one is one like he went over the top, mossed the dude.
Yeah,
it hadn't really played too much up to that point, and then he just comes out that game. It's a little touchdown, the drag over the middle. Like, okay, that's cool and all. And then just the second one where he just, mosses this dude head top. Yeah, that's a good pick.
I have another one. This was I think it was end of the fourth quarter. So fourth quarter, Notre Dame, Bain and Mesidor go. They basically swarm CJ Carr, both get the sack, and then Mesidor finishes with the Notre Dame celebration. He goes like that. Legendary moment that I
was considering that one. That one was like in my head on the list. But yeah, like that one was like, I mean, that was just like, oh, this is what Miami's gonna have all season long. Yeah. These two guys coming after a QB. And yeah, so
there's a lot of those Mezzi and Bain play. There's the one again was the FSU where FSU is doing a read option, or it's either read option or a run. They pan the camera. You got Mesidor on one side.
Yes.
Again, they got Bain. That was the entire season. Like just looking at those plays, like that's what kind of ultimately defined the season so much. I mean, even in the Indiana game, some of the Bain and Mesidor rips that they had, and they kept showing them. That was like I think you just watching that, realizing how much talent you had on that team and how much star levels like these. I mean, these are 2 first-round picks, 2 guys that should be amazing in the NFL. Like I love every second of the way that they were playing the entire year, and those clips kind of just like they stick to my mind right away. Yeah. Or even what was it? Ole Miss, where like 3 guys get to Trinidad and then Moten or Mesidor finishes. Or was it? I think no, it was on it was Ohio State. It was like 2 guys had already made contact with the quarterback with Sayan, and then I think either Moten or Mesidor finishes him with like a body slam to the ground, and like just describes how violent that defensive line was all year, and especially in that Ohio State game. They were so good in that game. It was perfect.
Yeah. Because I was when you mentioned that, I was thinking of like that first sack when like it was literally Bain and Mesidor, like they just go take down Sayan. You're just like, well, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day for that guy.
Fun year. I mean, it's cool that you can think of so many different moments in the season. We're probably missing quite a few still because it was. Yeah. I mean, it was a great year from everything.
Just like it was more. This is more funny, but just the stat padding at the end of the Pitt and the Virginia Tech game where they were just like, screw it, go. Like it wasn't even you're not like necessarily guaranteeing a touchdown. It's just like, oh, over the top, just go up and moss them. Then Malley did it against Virginia Tech, and then CJ did it against Pitt. You're just like, oh, nice way to end the game. I think the Pitt head coach called a timeout, which is what caused Miami to do it too. Which is like,
and then the Virginia Tech one, I was like a Malachi Tony. I think he just mossed them. I think he totally mossed them.
Yeah,
that was great as well. All them. I mean, the best of the Malacat plays were very fun. Obviously, the peak of the Malacat was great. The lows were really low, but the peak was fun. Some of the if he had connected with, I think, Josh Moore on that one where it was like genuinely just like a regular just drop back, and they were just like, okay, Malley over the top and throw it. That would have been higher. That would have been probably one of like the highlight of it all. But yeah, like the Malacat when it was working was also so fun. He has one where I think he threw it to Dalen Upshaw, and Dalen Upshaw ran for like 48 yards.
Yeah.
I think it was against NC State. That was a good one. Mally was having so much fun in that game. That like, there's a lot of them. You look at like they're the team is just having a lot of fun. But like, there's
Mhm.
moments from like, I didn't particularly think Syracuse was a fun game, and
Mhm.
Louisville and SMU were both brutal losses. But every game I thought had a different level of fun to it. Like maybe Bethune was the only exception to it. I don't remember anything from that game.
No.
Um,
Let me
yeah,
let me
it was
see.
it was a
What even
great
happened
year.
in that one?
I mean, it was a blowout. And they had
Oh, no,
Emery.
it's like 45 to like the 3 or whatever it was.
They had Emery and I think Nickel in it at one point.
I did see a clip of Emery stiff arming a dude from that game when he was on the
Yes,
run.
yes.
That you know what? That's getting tossed in the list.
I mean, the whole season could be an honorable mention at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I mean,
Every touchdown's an honorable mention.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. CJ Daniels in the end zone, going to the ESPN cameras and doing the tomahawk chop.
Oh, good call.
Great. I mean, that whole first half was some of the most fun football I've ever watched
Mhm.
from Miami. That whole first half. We can exclude everything that happened in the fourth quarter, but the 3 quarters of that football were some of the most fun you'll ever watch Miami playing against another team, especially a rival like that. It was,
Mhm.
second to none kind of stuff like that. And I'm not even going to try to mention any of the negative plays from the season. It was just, let's just focus on
Yeah,
what
your
was.
bottom 5 plays from the season.
We can
Number
go
5,
bottom.
Alex Ballman. I'm sorry, that was too mean.
Every David Blay
Every
offsides.
David play offsides. Um,
Do you want to get into it?
well, I mean, it's a quick list.
Let's do
Uh,
two. Let's just do 2 plays.
two
Just two.
plays. Okay, 2 plays. Obviously, blocked punt has to go in there, and I'll say this. Both of them are gonna be special teams. The 3 missed field goals against A&M. I'm just gonna say that's there you go.
I'll go the Mendoza Heisman run. That play is ingrained in my mind forever. That one and this one, I guess this one doesn't mean anything at the end of the day anymore. But the Marquise Lightfoot, Mario calling timeout and
Mhm.
Marquise Lightfoot getting called for a penalty is one of the. I've never yelled at a TV probably more in a long time than yelling at Marquise Lightfoot for not hearing the whistle and
Yeah.
Mario for even calling a timeout so late in that spot. But other than like, I'll say those two specifically just probably burned in my mind.
Actually, I'm gonna say my worst memory is the Beck interception because I was 20 feet away from it. So yeah,
I had a
that
pretty poor angle on it, so it's like I knew he threw an interception, but I knew he picked it, but it was so hard to see everything, like paint a full picture of it for me to like say that.
yeah. I just remember we had waited because our passes didn't have like the sticker for writers, even though we were
Yeah,
there as writers technically. But we were just sitting there. Like, we were on the sideline, like, oh, Miami's driving. Okay, good, because we were down at the tunnel, but then they were holding people back because they had all the TV cameras, and then we
yep,
were able to like, oh, we're just here as writers. We don't have big TV cameras. Let us on. And then we got our stickers like during the 2-minute drive, and then like I think 2 or 3 plays in, I'm standing there, and then I just see it fly in
yeah,
straight to I forget the corners, Sharp's hands. Yeah, Jamari Sharp, like his hands, and it was just like
yeah, yeah. And then you probably got to throw in the back and forth pick against Louisvle. That one was pretty bad.
that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
that one's really bad too.
probably all 4 of his picks, but his last one was really bad.
The fourth one was the worst, just because you're just like we were driving close enough for field
We
goal
were in
range.
red zone. We were in field goal range.
Yeah, exactly. We were in field goal range, and then it just did that, and then you're just like, okay, well, there goes. At that point, it felt like there goes the season for a little bit, and then obviously SMU felt like there goes the season for real. But yeah,
That's exactly what I felt when Lightfoot made that when Lightfoot made that play, and also against the Beck interception against SMU. Those to me felt like a season-ending play. That
Mhm.
interception he threw against SMU. Thankfully, it wasn't. But when I think about that play in the grand scheme of things, I was very upset, like nervous at that point. But things finally, went our way, and we had the season that we did, and grateful for that for sure. Unless there's any other moments you're thinking of.
No, I'm like, let me look at this. Let me look at the season just to like look at the games.
I've been going through a lot of some of the regular plays that we even had. Think of maybe any creativity. There was just a lot of. I mean, it was fun. It was very like. I mean, you want to talk about a low point was the A gap Shannon Dawson.
Like drama.
Yeah, the SMU stuff where it's just nonstop. Shannon, why you keep running the ball up the middle? It was, that was the only discussion we had. And that was like kind of from the beef from and then the first half against Stanford was really bad. The first half against Syracuse was really bad.
I'm trying to think.
A&M field goals were much worse than those are really bad. Bad weather, really super windy.
I get it, but like by the third missed one, it was just like, oh god.
Yeah.
So
rough ones for sure. Great season though. You can't go wrong with that.
Shout out to Carter Davis for you know what? We forgot to mention. Good shout out to Carter Davis because beginning of the season, making that field goal against Notre Dame.
Great kick.
Even
the kick against SMU, he hit that kick to go to overtime against SMU.
True.
So I mean, credit him whenever you can but for the playoffs, it wasn't great. Special teams was an issue in the playoffs. That was objective truth. Wasn't great in the playoffs.
So hopefully, our Jake Weinberg and some Matt Olson, Greg Olson, not Greg Olson.
Jack Olson.
Big fan. People who are big fans of kickers.
Hold on. Jack Olson.
Jack Olson. Jack Olson's fans here in the house. Only 2 missed field goals.
And 1 more year of Dylan Joyce.
Look, I'll take it.
More Aussies. We need more Aussies.
More. So that I think that clears. I'm looking at the schedule. I'm like, is there anything else I feel like mentioning?
So O'Shea is trying to push this as long as possible so he can get as little coverage as possible from the Super Bowl, as he is a Patriots fan, and this has been it's been a rough 24 hours for him. I'm a Jets fan, so it's probably been the best 24 hours of my life. Knowing that my team will never make it to the Super Bowl, but knowing that the Patriots lose is always a great feeling. Probably the best feeling you can have. We did meet Tom Brady. Means nothing to me. We did beat the Patriots. Patriots losing is the best feeling in the world, no matter what. It's the best feeling in the world to lose to the Patriots. I do feel for Andy. I somewhat feel for Leonard Taylor. Shay has left the stage. Oh, there he is. How you feel, Shay?
Okay. I'll start with this. That was some of that. Christian Gonzalez might be the best corner in the NFL. Let's start off with there. Milton Williams, love him. Gotta love Milton Williams. Those 2 throws Drake May made on that touchdown drive, pretty solid. Aside for that, feels like such a wasted opportunity just because of how well the defense was playing, and I just think Drake got rattled too much as a result of just constant pressure throughout the postseason. Love Jared Wilson, but they got their shit rocked. Sorry for the profan, but they got their stuff rocked the entire postseason on the left side of the line, and then I mean, I don't think Sam Darnold really did much. Like, I know it's a big Sam Darnold, he won. Like, was not very impressed with me at all watching that game. Shout out to Kenneth Walker. Love Kenneth Walker. Shout out to Jason Myers. Gotta shout him out. Julian Love was able to catch a meatball over the middle, so he gets the credit for that. But it feels like as a Pats fan, it feels like it's like if it had been a one score game and we had lost and Drake had some mistakes here and there, like it would feel fine because you're like, oh, you came so much further than you were supposed to, yada yada. Like even if it's a touchdown loss. But just the way it happened was just so demoralizing. And I know you're especially happy that it was so demoralizing, but it's just when like it felt like it was so possible, and then you're moving in that not second last. We had two other drives after that. But point being is like you're moving, and you think we can make it a 5-point game with about seven minutes left, and like Drake throws his worst pass of the year, honestly. Um, in that spot, it's just like so. I mean, like what makes it more frustrating is just the fact that you do like Drake that like genuinely that throw to Mac Hollins over the middle over three defenders might have been
That's a
the
great
best
throw.
might have been the best throw of the day from either quarterback. And but the problem was that it was he I think he lost a little bit of confidence just based off the pressure. He got sped up and he wasn't seeing things the way he saw them throughout the postseason because uh, like this. What I will say, the Pats player, like skill position, like I think everything that the team was, the mediocres count on the skill position level. You saw it there, and then I think the youth slash ineptitude of the offensive line, you really saw it, and it's just a calamity of just mistakes, and then you're like, Seattle team felt so beatable, man. Like it's just like it was so possible, and I think the Pats got in their own way. I think a little bit of that lies it lies on everybody in terms of the offense. Like Josh McDaniels called a really boring game plan. They weren't able to run the football. They weren't able to. I mean, they weren't able to like you had 8 punts and then a fumble. Like that's how the game started for the Pats on offense. So, um, yeah, I think I've done my rant. I've paid my dues. Like it sucks. And shout out to Elijah Arroyo. Hopefully he gets playing time next year because I actually do want to see the dude play because I think he's like a genuine vertical stretcher, kind of get the ball in his hands type of guy. And I don't know why Seattle doesn't do that, use him more often than they do. But yeah, like it's well deserved for that team and for what they've been through. But it does feel like you definitely could have had it if you just made a couple more plays. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean that's a fair rant. It was probably a very mellow rant. I'm sure you had worse feelings after the game. But I mean, look, Patriots entered that game 4.5-point dogs according to FanDuel. It was a very, I thought it was gonna be a very close one. I thought it was gonna be a tight one. I was thankfully wrong. The Patriots finally got exposed as the frauds they were. That was my take from that entire game. And I felt that way from the most part from it. Will Campbell, short arms. Can't believe they drafted him over Armand Membu. Let's see. Drake May, the schedule. Drake, the schedule May. Threw some very poor throws. I will say this. It looked like he was hurt, and they had said he was dealing with injury. They said that he had injections before the game. If it was true that he was hurt, you can definitely see it. He definitely was not playing his best brand of football. However, this whole postseason, they have been bad. Like this whole postseason, the Patriots offense, I think the stat said that the Jets scored more points in the regular season than the Patriots did. And like they averaged more points in the regular season than the Patriots did in the postseason. Drake May fumbled the most ever in postseason history. Stats that don't necessarily mean anything, but mean something to me. The Patriots offensive line, awful. Objective. I mean, like you also give credit to Seattle's defense. Seattle's defense is a machine. Credit to Jets, the Jets for building the Seattle team. Leonard Williams, former Jet. Sam Darnold, former Jet. Jason Myers, former Jet. All studs with the Jets at some. Well, Sam Darnold was ruined by Adam Gase. I love you, Sam, forever.
Adam Gase back in the NFL, by the way. I saw that hired by the Chargers today.
I hope he ruins the Chargers. Can't stand. Adam Gase is a legitimate terrorist to my franchise. He ruined Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold was revived in San Francisco, and it helped him in Minnesota and then in Seattle. So I'm very, very, very thankful, very happy for Sam. The draft pick was worth it any day of the week where you could beat the Patriots. It is one of the best overcoming stories you could probably have from seeing Ghost and losing in that game, which was to me one of the lowest points in my fandom was the seeing Ghost game. I believe in that game, the Jets, I believe, were 0-4. They entered that game either 0-4, 0-5. They had just beaten a big team. I think they were entering a bye week or something. They had something like that. CJ Mosley was coming back from injury, and the vibes in the Meadowlands was as high could be. They were debuting their black jerseys for the first time all year. And I believed, and I remember every Jet fan was saying how much they believed that they were going to win that game. And then the Sam Darnold seeing Ghost game happened. And it was one of the most deflating moments of my lifetime. And I felt so bad for Sam, felt so bad for him. To see him all these years later be in this spot, hosting a Lombardi, it's a pretty awesome feeling to have. I'm so happy for the guy. He deserves it in every way possible. So I'm so thankful for him. I'm so grateful for him and what, they did that. They beat the Patriots for me. I always believe that he did that for me. Other stat that mattered, Bad Bunny ran more yards than the Patriots offense. Great stat. Shout out Bad Bunny. I had nothing but great things to feel about the Super Bowl. From an objective standpoint, yeah, it was pretty bad. From a Jets fan standpoint, one of the best Super Bowls you could probably have in terms of a hate watch. I know there's a stat that quarterbacks in their second year who make the Super Bowl have a rough time coming back to ever making it again. Let's hope that happens with Drake May. I think my Patriots hate watch is all right. I think I'm done, Jay.
Okay. That'll do it for this episode. No, but look, it's so funny because what's funny is that if this team had just lost in like the divisional or something, like it'd be like, okay, it's fine. It's a second year team, but it's somehow worse to make the Super Bowl and lose it than to lose earlier. So that's what I'm realizing right now. Last time the Pats lost the Super Bowl was the Eagles won.
Yeah.
And like, did people clown me a bit? Yeah, going to school that next day, but it was like, you did all you could. Tom Brady threw for 500 yards. Like, it was like this one, it's just like, now people are like, man,
embarrassing fashion with hundreds of million people watching. Like the first time watching the Patriots all year long. And also the Patriots are the most hated team in professional sports, apart from maybe the Celtics. It's good to see them lose. Like it's a feel-good story when the Patriots lose objectively. So you're like all the hate that you're getting. Also, you're in Miami where you're surrounded by a bunch of Northeastern people who are also
that's
Jets and Giants fans.
And I don't know why the Giants have a problem with us. Like, you guys got your two. Like, go be happy. Go be happy with Jackson Dart.
No, the city of New York has a deep, ingrained hatred for the city of the region of New England, and so does Miami. So it feels good when New England loses. It's a celebratory day. It's just you kind of grown up on that, and Boston's the same way. It's just that the Jets and Giants just haven't been anywhere in the last 10 years. So when that moment comes, when the Jets, if ever, do something, Shea will have his day to clown me if the Jets were to lose in the playoffs. But he can't clown me because I've been clowning the Jets my entire life. So he can't do anything to me. The only pain I feel
they can't hurt you anymore.
Yes, the only pain I feel is when the Knicks and the Jets and the Yankees lose. And I mean, yeah, they hurt. The Jets suck. It doesn't mean anything to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel nothing when the Jets lose. So, but like I don't know. Overall, it was a Super Bowl. I don't know. It was one of the Super Bowls.
One of the. Well, here's what I will say: calling this Pats team one of the worst Super Bowl teams of all time.
No, I wouldn't say that.
As if we didn't just see last year the Chiefs be down 34-0 with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Like, guys, I get it was bad, but we've seen worse. We have seen previous Patriots teams play so much worse in the Super Bowl. If you want to go back to either when the Bears rocked them or when the Packers rocked them in the Super Bowl. Like, this is not the worst team to ever play in the Super Bowl ever. Like can we let's chill? Like, can we just chill on that? Like,
the 2018 Rams were pretty bad.
No, even Peyton Manning lost 43-8 in the Super Bowl. Like, oh my God. Okay,
Worst ever? No. Top 10? Yeah. They played bad. Like they were.
well, yes, they did. Like objectively, the offense
They
played awful.
couldn't run the football. Ramondre and Travion could not really do anything.
Yes,
The
because
offensive
Josh
line
McDaniels was like,
horrible.
Vermont, Travion Henderson up the
Yeah.
middle.
Will Campbell allowing 14 pressures is ridiculous.
See, look, they checked the math on that.
No, you're looking at
Stats
PFF.
next gen stats were wrong. It was about 8 pressures.
Oh, does not change anything about how I feel about that. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence, Nwosu, Leonard Williams. I mean, they're flat out dogs. The defense was incredible. Even
The one that honestly the play that pissed me off the most was when they're like 5th string D tackles bull rush Jared Wilson into Drake May, and I was like, okay, what's going on here? Like that can't happen. And this is why teams have not had 2 rookies starting on their offensive line in the Super Bowl ever. It was the first time, and it will be the last time because when the Pats make it next year, they're going to be second-year players.
So what do your needs look like entering this? I mean, receiver has to be a must.
Receiver has to be there. Hopefully that's AJ Brown. If not, then you Alec Pierce would be a good consolation prize in terms of buffing the receiver core. Because I think next year, if you're looking at this Pats team, Diggs is probably back unless the court stuff gets a little out of hand. But Diggs is probably back. I like Kayshawn, but you need somebody who's a little more consistent in terms of just down to down production. Pop is good in like his spurts. I think they need to involve Kyle Williams so much more next year. Between stretching the field vertically and what he does, what he can do with run after catch. So, but I think getting a true outside receiver like AJ Brown to go out and go and win those one-on-ones when you need it would be huge. Alongside that, edge rusher is a need. I like what Kayvon Chason did this year in the postseason, but like I would go draft, whether it's the first round or later on, some actual depth there. And then I don't know. I don't like. It's weird because I liked what Jared Wilson and Will Campbell did in a large spurts of this season, but I don't know if it's another year. They need to take to go and get better, or that's just like, okay, Jared Wilson's actually a center, so move him to center. Will Campbell's actually guard, and move him to guard, and then you get another left tackle there. I think regardless, you should draft the tackle just because Morgan Moses, he played really well this season, but he's really old. So there is that. So it's though, I mean, yeah, it's receiver, tackle, and edge are the big 3, which would feel like I've been saying that people have been saying about the Pats for like 20, it's like for like 5 years now. Outside of that, like nothing like I don't think edge is a big need. I think it was solid this year, but I think you get a guy truly on the edge that can go and rush the passer, create pressure off there, then you're not relying as much on Milton Williams and Christian Barmore to do as much as they needed to do this year. So yeah, and then outside of that, I mean, the kick returning game was so bad this year after Antonio Gibson got hurt, so like that has to be a consideration. Punt return was fine, obviously, because we have Marcus Jones, but there's that. Secondary, I think, just is just untouchable, like untouched.
Yeah, that they were great. Yeah,
they were great. Shout out Craig Woodson. Craig Woodson, 31, was a beast. In that game, like, and he had slowly, like, he'd been a starter all season. But like he got so much better in the postseason too, just doing what he did. But yeah, like that's why it feels like such a wasted opportunity.
I will say you have, in my opinion, next year and the year after, because I think you have until Drake May's contract when he signs that new extension, and then kind of in this cap fluctuability area, or you don't have a lot of cap.
Look, I do it right now. Give him the Mahomes deal where it rolls over. It's so flexible for the cap.
It is, but I mean, looking at the Chiefs right now, the Chiefs are in cap hell. So I mean,
they're in cap hell, but that's just because they have a lot of older guys on bigger contracts too.
I would, if you're the Patriots and you have this window of Drake May's contract where you're like, this is the cheapest he'll ever be. Give him some elite talent for a year or two. Let him, dominate with that elite talent, whether it be bringing in a guy like AJ Brown or just a guy that can be a reliable guy for you, like give you 8 catches, 90 yards on a consistent basis. Because it felt like the Patriots have been lacking that. Like every time I look at the Patriots, it's like well, you don't really have a true number one. Diggs is cool because he's up there in age, and then it's like, well, you have Matt Collins, Pop Douglas, Keyshawn Booty. There's a lot of different guys rotating in. You need like a legitimate threat. So I mean, looking at that point, that's probably where I'd go. And then offensive line probably needs something. I mean, I was very disappointed in what I saw with Will Campbell. I can't lie to you. Also, I will say this, and it could affect Ruben Bain's draft stock. Just being real here, because the short arm debate. Now I know if you have short arms,
what I will say is the entire offensive line community came together. It was like, look, it's not the short arms. He's just bad.
Oh, okay.
Where they were like, he's setting. I think they said it. I don't know offensive line technique too well, but like he was like setting improperly, like too. He was like getting into his like pass set too high, which if you're already like, you know, your arms aren't as long. Like it's just he's going about it wrong. Like he's going about like his technique wrong, and then they like people jumped on him for that. Like all former offensive linemen were like, he could still be a left tackle. It's just he has to figure out his technique to kind of actually do that. And like, I know the big conversation is, oh, he could be an awesome guard. Well, he's never played guard in his life, so who actually knows if that's the case?
I mean, they always say a bad offensive tackle is a great guard. That's the way. I mean, that's the way they've always said it. So I don't know. I know nothing about the offensive line in the NFL that you can just, this guy can just shift into the guard position and just be a star. You have no idea if that's true or not.
Yeah.
And you also know it's an adjustment period for a guy like any of the rookies. It's just going to take some time to get comfortable in the league, especially when you're against really good players like Demarcus Lawrence and Leonard Williams, who are legitimate dogs they're mauled that Patriots offensive line, made Drake May's life hell. Then Owosu play was insane. I mean, there's so many different plays you look at and you're like, that defense was just swarming in all facets. You got to give credits due to Mike McDonald in that defense. So good. Everything about that. And obviously, shout out Sam. He deserves everything. He deserves it all.
Look, good guy.
Great guy.
Great dude. But
great
I don't think he'd be in the top 4 reasons why the Seahawks won that game.
But is Sam Darnold in the top 1 reasons to why they won in the NFC Championship game?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Without Sam Darnold's performance in the NFC Championship game, they don't make the Super Bowl. If they don't make the Super Bowl,
I'll give you that. It was just like,
yes. Look,
he was close to giving him a couple during that game, and I was like,
yes, he was. Like, if you want to look at like who probably like in terms of the Super Bowl MVP stuff, it was Kenneth Walker. It was the entirety of that defense, and it was Jason Myers, and then you put Sam Darnold there.
Yeah, he's probably 4. He's probably 4.
Like JSN and Darnold were almost non-factors.
Yeah, JSN and Darnold, which
in the entirety of the season they were monumental for that year.
Christian Gonzalez, pay him all the money, man. Like, he's so good at football, man. That pissed me off more than anything, because we could have gotten a Christian Gonzalez Super Bowl MVP had the Pats won that. Now, in all honesty, if they had come back down 19-0 in the fourth quarter, it probably would have gone to Drake, because Drake threw for the most craziest stat pad of all time. Most passing yards in the fourth quarter ever was accomplished by Drake May in this game.
Yeah, crazy sport. I mean, look, there's no more football, no more pro football until what is it? TCU UNC in Dublin. That is the next football game we got, and it's in August. So it's a long off season ahead of us.
Long off season, but we do have Canes who could get drafted.
Yes,
we'll start
Pro Day, draft. We got a lot going on. Canes baseball is back this week. Basketball plays UNC tomorrow.
You know, this is going to turn into a Canes basketball channel.
If we make a run in March, this will be a Canes basketball channel.
Look, if Canes basketball beats UNC, we'll be here next Monday talking about that 100%. Yes. We're flipping the show.
Yeah, Combine is coming up. We'll definitely talk Combine.
Yeah, Combine Pro Day.
Yeah, NFL Combine next week. No, we got like 2 weeks till Combine. So stuff going on. We'll wait on that for sure for combine stuff. I think I'll be on the show. I'll do the call-in show Thursday. I'm not sure. I mean, again, there hasn't really been a lot going on. I can't really, unless we're making up rumors or we're finding things to talk about. I don't know if there will be a show or not. We'll keep talking. Obviously, March is spring practice, so there is a lot going on once we hit March. But for the next week or two, if all we're talking about is top 5 moments from the season and Super Bowl talk, I'm sorry, there really is not a lot
Next
to talk
episode
about.
on how the Jets can rebuild this offseason.
Might be a Madden
Bryce
franchise.
Simpson at number 2 overall. Find out on next episode.
Ruben Bain, pick 2. Akeem Mesidor, pick 16, 15, 16. Let's go. Keontae Scott, round 2. Carson Beck, round 2. No, I can't do that. I can't do that. No.
Chambliss round 2. He'll probably be there.
I'm not even. The Jets are a train wreck. They'll find a way to ruin it all.
Will Justin Fields be the Jets quarterback next year? Find out on next episode.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's
man.
Hold on. Pro Bowl Justin Fields.
Oh, shout out for this comment.
Thank you, Jimmy.
I fear we're currently leaving, but yes, the tight end room does need to.
Oh yes, that of all the things that we do need to talk about, that is a concern.
That is a genuine concern for next season in terms of where this roster needs to
be. I'll end on this. I have been hearing people talk about some of the freshmen and the incoming guys coming in, or I guess freshmen last year. There's a lot of love for some of these guys. I can't remember their names right now.
I know people are decently high on Luka Gilbert, if I'm not wrong.
Luka Gilbert. And I believe there's another one that they're very high on. Almost to the point, like, if you may not be surprised if you were to not see Elijah Lofton be the starter. Because of him, and then also Luka Gilbert, and then there was one other. I can't think of it. But yeah, I do believe there are guys in the locker room or guys in the facility, in the room, that are very big fans of some of the guys in the new class and Luka Gilbert. I think that Miami's hopefully, I mean, that is an issue that I have for sure. I definitely need to see Lofton, or I want to see what Mensah can do with whoever he has.
Yeah.
I mean, the receiver room looks great. The running back room looks great.
Yeah, I mean, he'll have plenty of weapons at his disposal. It's just a dynamic tight end would take their room to another level, which last thing the Pats actually low-key need to do. Like, not take Hunter Henry out back to shed, but they kind of need to get a second guy in there.
Kind of the way Seattle has it. Like, AJ Barner is very comparable to Hunter Henry. Then you have Elijah Lofton, who was hurt for the most part. Elijah Arroyo, who was hurt for the most part. If he is healthy, he can be a guy that can stretch and be a vertical threat for you. Miami could use a guy like that. And
exactly.
Lofton hasn't really. We thought Lofton was going to be that. He hasn't.
Lofton hasn't emerged as that guy yet. Well, we'll see if another year of development can kind of help him do that. But you like what he can do in space if he does get the football. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That is fair.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
A lot of spread with this team next year if there isn't any real dominant tight end.
I guess the only concern of that, I mean, Miami just loves having, exactly. Miami loves having multiple tight ends. Also, the offensive line is projected to be, one of our weaker ones in the last couple of years. If we were talking years past, I would definitely agree. I mean, look, we have no idea what it exactly looks like, but you do like the way the receiving room blocks very well. Like,
yes.
I mean,
that's in the culture there, it seems.
Yeah, Malachi Tony and Cooper Barkade are both notoriously very good blockers. Whoever else you're going to have are going to have to be really good blockers, because that's how you play in Miami. That's how you get playing time. Yep. The running back room is no different. The reason why certain guys get more playing time, because they're very good run blockers. Marty Brown's a great run blocker. So, yeah, the personnel is there. We'll see. I definitely like 4 wide. I think 4 wide could be really fun considering how deep of a receiver room they have.
Yeah, definitely could be. I mean, it's going to be a really good group. So maybe Miami doesn't need to rely on a tight end next year, just given the receiving core seeming to be somehow deeper than it was this year. But that'll do it for this episode of Miami Primetime Live, brought to you by FanDuel. Hope y'all enjoyed 20 minutes of torture with me talking about the Super Bowl and relive my trauma, and our tight end talk to round it up. Jaden, Jaden, maybe this Thursday?
Potentially, we'll see if there's reason if there's a reason to hop on, I may hop on Thursday. We'll see. I can't guarantee you that. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. But thank you guys for tuning in.
For now, thank you for tuning in. Have a good day.
You as well. Peace.